Hoo hoo hoo. 1 2 1 2 testing. Testing the 1 2 and the 3 and the 4. Hoo hoo hoo. 1 2 1 2. Another day, another dollar. Hey, how are you, mate? Honey. All right, everybody. How are you? Hmm. Can everybody hear me? If you can hear me, please
All
type
right, everybody.
yes on the chat. I appreciate it. I'm fine, thank you. Uh-huh. Let's have a look at this. Awesome. So you can hear me. Thank you, Mina Nagi. All right. I don't know why. All right. We're good. So I was having some connection issues, but now I am good. Right. So first trade of the day for me. I'm looking for shorts on the euro yen. Here's my point of interest. I already sent this to the VIPs. Clear. Market structure break. Let's see if we can get filled on this 4R. It's nice 4R here. And yeah, we do have PMIs today. All right now. So basically, unemployment claims came lower than expected, lower than lower than the previous number. So that is very good, right? So that's why we're seeing such a bullish move on the USD. Now, I want to place a long, I mean, not a long because I don't trade at market ever, right? But I'm looking for longs on the US dollar. Now, remember, we do have PMIs, right? We do have PMIs. The flash manufacturing PMIs are expected to come lower than the previous numbers. And also the flash services PMIs. We'll see. Maybe that particular data dump is going to get us on that pullback that I'm looking forward to getting both long on the US dollar, right? It was big change on unemployment claims to 209 to 201, but gold no response. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, let's have a look at gold very quickly. Um, well, mate, to be completely honest, yeah, it's very choppy. I mean, this market is quite choppy. But if you notice, this is very much the structural low in this market. I did have a point of interest right here in gold to go long, but because we do have a ton of data out of the US, I decided against it, right? Now, in hindsight, everybody's a fucking hindsight hero, right? This would have been a very nice sniper entry, but again, we don't know what's going to happen. Now, I am looking for US dollar longs, right? But I do need a deep pullback on this market for me to get involved in it. Now, the markets that I trade the US dollar on are the pound, US dollar, and the euro USD. Now I'm looking at the US dollar Canadian dollar too. Now, the US dollar Canadian dollar is quite juicy at the moment. Hi, Orlando. Hope you're well. Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh. So basically, if I'm looking for pullbacks on the US dollar, I do believe that the US dollar Canadian dollar yields the best setup for that. Now, the risk to reward ratio on this possible trade is not the best just because I always put my stop losses at the structural lows, right? Now, let's go to the hourly chart. So the market is about to open. Um, yeah, this is the swing low in the market. So that's good. We do have uh, all of this imbalance that is calling my name. I don't know. I'm not trading. I'm not trading U.S. equities today. I got stopped out yesterday um, on my S&P 500 short right here. And to be completely honest, let me just delete this because it's already um, in my journal. So, to be completely honest, I really don't see any opportunities here. Of course, that the bias in this market is very bullish for today, but I don't have a setup. Now, focusing on the US dollar, Canadian dollar, right? Let's have a look at what this could in fact yield. Now, aggressive stop losses would be below this structure, below the internal structure low, targeting these highs for about at 3.24 R. But this is PMIs. Yeah, this is PMIs. So, and not only because it's PMIs, but I always place my stop losses below the structured low. So this is probably a 2R, 1.8R, which is not the best. Actually, a 2R. A 2R. All right, so let's place that. USD CAD on the 50-minute chart. Let's have a look. All right, so the market just opened. A quick look at US equities. And a quick look at gold. I'm not trading gold today. Now, if you look at this on the 5-minute chart, um, on the 5-minute chart, we could in fact look for a possible long here in gold for a 4R. Now, because again, today we have PMIs, I'm not going to place a buy limit blindly. I would want to see this on this market. I'm going to monitor it, but I'm really not keen on trading gold today. Now, euro yen, let's have a look. Yeah. About 40 pips from my entry. So we have a PMI in about 50 minutes, exactly 14 minutes. I have my squawk on. Yeah. I'm going to place this US dollar Canadian dollar long. let's be a little more. Yeah. So a 2.5 R, possible 2.5 R in this. All right, just hold on for a second. I'm going to place that buy limit on the USD CAD, and I'm going to send it to the VAPs. Right here. And on the 50-minute chart, nice. So let's have a look. It's at 2.3 R. 2.3 R. All right. So here is where I have placed those buy limits. This is awesome. Hmm. Pues sabes que cada vez que voy a ahí a la gasolinera, la niña de la farmacia me dice, ahí le tengo enantium. Ajá. Sí, yo sé. Right, so this was a 2.3R, 2.2R, and risking 0.5% as always.
So just as a heads up, in roughly 10 minutes time, get some data out of the US, the manufacturing PMI. So this is the prelim Feb read. So for manufacturing, that's expected at 50.7, in line with the previous. And for services PMI, that's seen at 52.3, last time at 52.5. For the composite, that's expected at 51.8, last time at 52.
All right, everybody good? Now we just need to wait for the PMIs. I mean, for the data to hit the wires. USD CAD is about 32 pips for my entry, and Euro Yen about 40 pips for my entry. Let's have a look at the chat. So go buy. No, mate. I didn't say that. I didn't. I absolutely didn't say that. What I was talking about is that I was looking at the possibility of.
And according to the Nikkei, Lenovo, they're planning to release the first piece.
I was looking at the possibility of, not the possibility, but at this possible setup. Long gold, right? On the 50-minute chart, looks like this, right? But if you want to optimize it, you go to the 5-minute chart, looking like this, right? But because of unemployment claims and PMIs, and yeah, because my entry model yields very tight stop losses pip wise, I'm definitely not going to place a an order in gold. Now the difference is quite simple, right? Price in gold is let me show you. Price in gold is 10 pips for my entry, and would be 40 pips from my stop loss. But on the euro yen, right, price is 40 pips from my entry and 70 pips from my stop loss. On the US dollar, Canadian dollar, same story, right? Price is, well, right now, 28 pips from my entry and 56 pips from my stop loss. So, the way that I trade the news, let's call it, right, is, I take my opportunity on the volatility to get triggered on my setups, but only if price is not trading right at my setups entry, right? Because that would be ill-advised in the sense that very possibly I would be taken out on a loss on the high volatility. So let's just wait 7 minutes. 7 minutes away. This as long as I'm gonna stop singing. Last one. I swear. Thank you. Uy, como en media hora. Porque van a las 9 empezar, ¿verdad? Ah, vaya, perfecto. Estamos set. So, here we go. Let's just wait for this. This is how it looks on the 50-minute chart, and the euro yen, same thing. All right, so what are you guys looking at?
And according to a political reporter for Axios on social media, the Israeli Minister of Defense Gallant has told the White House Middle East SAR that the Israeli War Cabinet are going to give Israeli negotiators a broader mandate in order to make progress in the hostage talks. Once again, this is according to a political reporter from Axios.
So on the Japanese yen basket side, yeah, I know that well, this market is quite bearish. I mean, not quite bearish, very, very bearish. But let's have a look at the 50-minute chart here. Yeah, on the 50-minute chart, I mean, this market has not created a market structure shift whatsoever, right? It has not created a market structure shift. A true market structure shift would be at the break of the Asian session highs, right? This is the place. So my euro yen is not optimal. Hola, amigo. All right, so my euro yen is not optimal in the sense that I'm trading against the trend, or I would be trading against the trend here, right? Because the Japanese.
Some more comments from Israeli Defense Minister Gallant.
A true market structure shift, right? I mean, if we go to the 1-minute chart, right? If we go to the 1-minute, not even on the 1-minute chart, actually. Not even on the 1 minute chart, right? Because this low right here is still, the structured low in the sense that there has not been the liquidity sweep that I need to see in order for that market structure shift to be in play. So yes, it's an aggressive entry and not optimal in the sense that I'm trading, or I would be trading the long side on the Japanese yen um, on a bearish market. So, should I get triggered short on the euro yen, which would be, in fact, a long on the Japanese yen, I'm going to manage it very aggressively. Even though, and the reason that I chose the pound, the euro yen, I'm sorry, is because um, this might be driven also a ton by the US dollar, right? So let's wait and see what happens. The US dollar is just rallying massively. Just have a look at this, right? This is the US dollar currency index. Currently waiting for a pullback to get triggered long on the US dollar Canadian dollar, which is a US dollar long trade idea, right? So let's wait for that. Gold, yeah. I mean, yeah, I was never going to take that gold long. Now, having said that, we're going to wait for the data dump and let's see what happens, or let's see how this market reacts, right? And possibly, we could in fact um, look for longs on a further pullback. But my focus is on the US dollar, Canadian dollar, and the euro yen for the time being. For the time being. All right, 10 seconds. Looking for, um, all right, 20 seconds. 50, 50, 52, 4. All right. USD CAD.
10 seconds. 51.5 for the manufacturing, 51.3 for the services, and 51.4 for the composite. So just to recap, that 51.5, that's higher than the 50.7 expected for the manufacturing PMI. For the services, 51.3, lower than the 52.3 expected, and lower than the previous 52.5. And for the composite, 51.4, lower than the expected 51.8, and also lower than the previous 52.
All right, there you go.
Just looking into the official report, US companies continue to report an expansion in activity during February, albeit at a slower pace. Output rose marginally as a softer uptick in services businesses activity weighed on overall growth. Manufacturing, meanwhile, saw a renewed increase in production amid an improvement in supply chains after the adverse weather
15
in
pips.
January.
15 pips.
So demand conditions, they improved further, but a softer rate as a less marked increase in the service sector new business offset an improvement in manufacturing, with the slower rise in new sales, leading firms to recruit additional workers at a slightly reduced rate, and also dampen confidence in the outlook for output over the next year.
All right, so there you go. Gold reacting very nicely to my point of interest. Now, this doesn't mean that I have missed a move in gold at all. Just look at the USD CAD, your yen, at all. Now, let me show you what I'm going to do.
So that flash read for the manufacturing PMI, 51.5, is a 17-month high.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do in gold. On the 3-minute chart, maybe the 2-minute chart, so you can actually see what I'm looking at. Yeah, so if this is the last sweep of the lows, remember that I'm looking at gold reacting to a buy zone that I had, right? A point of interest. So if this is the last sweep of the lows, I would be in fact looking at this high for the market structure shift, right? So actually no, should be this high, but that's too aggressive. That's too aggressive. I don't trade like that. All right, so what I need to see here, right, after the sweep of these lows, the reaction to my buy zone or my point of interest is a very strong move to the upside in gold, right? And then I'm going to look for inefficiencies in the market to place a buy limit, right, on a pullback. That's what I'm going to do here. Gold, USD CAD. I don't know if we are going to get filled, but in any case, I am not. I'm not chasing this market. The Japanese yen, Japanese yen. Hold on. No pullback on the Japanese yen. Have a look at this. No pullback on the Japanese yen. Japanese yen is about to break or is printing new highs during the New York session. Just broke with the pre-market highs, right? So, I mean, if the Japanese yen continues to rally, then I'm not going to get triggered short on the euro yen, right? Um, I'm not going to get triggered short on the euro yen. But that's fine because I'm not going to chase this market at all, right? I need a pullback and a liquidation of these lows for me to get involved long on the Japanese yen, which would in fact be those shorts on the euro yen that I am hunting. Now, questions. Esti onza. Let's have a look at the euro USD. No, USD CAD is the play. USD CAD is the play. I'm going to place an alert. I'm going to place an alert here in gold. And here. Boom. All right, so questions, guys. How I look at the S&P 500? Yeah. I had absolutely no setup here. No setup at all. But now that price has printed new daily highs, we could in fact look for longs on a pullback. Let's go to a 3-minute chart. I just don't like this low. I mean, if you notice, the New York session lows has equal lows here. right? This is really not a structural low, um, not a swing low, not an internal structured low. This is just liquidity. Yeah, so no trade here. And on the Nasdaq. Well, on the Nasdaq, I can in fact see a long opportunity here. What do you guys think? Let's first of all spot the real structured low. I mean, this is the thing, right? If we go to a 5 minute chart on US equities, there is no real structured low. I mean, I could see this one and this one also as a structural low. So if that is the case, I would want to see this lows getting liquidated, right? Um, and I could place a buy limit here, but it's not optimal. Yeah, it's not optimal. Let's just wait and see what happens, right? So USD CAD rallying. Hmm. All right, looking at some aggressive move here, and quite an aggressive trade idea also. All right, so this actually doesn't look that bad. 3.5 R possible longs on the on the Nasdaq. So for the US dollar, just have a look at this. For the US dollar, um, I mean to get involved long on the US dollar, right? Uh, obviously, we're not going to get involved long here, right? That is just burning money. Uh, but the thing is that it looks very good on a pullback towards my point of interest, which would be I'm eyeballing it, right? Um, something like this. Yeah, I mean the US dollar Canadian dollar still looks very very good, my friends. I'm going to wait and see what happens, monitoring this price action on the top, the euro yen at the bottom. Gold, I have my I'm sorry, my alert, and I'm gonna place an alert here on the Dow. All right, let's wait for this USD CAD, and after that we have absolutely nothing. But well, we have existing home sales, and that's about it. I really don't trade crude oil, but let's just have a look. Whilst we wait for the USD CAD to develop, let's have a look at this crude oil, right? 50-minute chart, right? 50-minute chart. Clear, clear, clear market structure shift here, right? Clear market structure shift. After the last sweep of the lows, we got, the break of the highs. So we did have this, that, and now here's my point of interest, or would be my point of interest long on crude oil. Now this is a good long setup. Now, let's see if this low reacted to a point of interest, a bullish point of interest. The thing is that I haven't traded crude oil in such a long time that I don't have enough data. But yeah, it liquidated the lows. I'm going to tag it red. I'm not gonna trade it. I just want to, you know, to see how it develops later. So, any questions? All right, there you go. The Japanese yen pulling back. USD CAD. I'm going to wait for that pullback. Gold, um, not doing very much. Super choppy, super choppy. S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. This is what I have for the moment, right? All right. Any questions, guys? Go ahead. Ask your questions. Um, yeah, because if you don't, I'm just going to um, log out. But I'm gonna give you a minute or so. Before I log out. Now let's see. Let's see how much this possible crude oil long would yield. Beautiful liquidity spot here. 1.7 R. Not the best, in my opinion. Actually, a 3R. Maybe we should consider going long on the Japanese yen. Just a thought. I am. I am. I mean, my setup here is long on the Japanese yen, mate. So, if you're looking for longs on the Japanese yen, you're going to trade the short side on the euro yen and the short side on the pound yen, right? And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm looking for longs on the Japanese yen, but I don't chase the market, right? I trade pullbacks. That's why, I mean, my entry model is quite aggressive in that sense because I sell into weakness. I sell into strength and I buy into weakness, right? So, what I'm looking for, right? What I'm looking for, this is Japanese yen basket on the 50-minute chart. I'm gonna go to the 5-minute chart here. What I'm looking for is a pullback here before the continuation higher on the Japanese yen. That would mean that we would see a pullback towards this level on the euro yen for us to get triggered long on the Japanese yen, which is a short on the euro yen, right? Just have a look at the USD. Here on the top left of my chart, of my screen, I'm sorry, have a look at the US dollar. No pullbacks, no pullbacks. So that sucks. Yeah, have a look at gold, right? So trading, I mean, first of all, if we look at this chart, right now for the past what is it, 6 sessions? No, 7 sessions. New York session, yesterday's Asian session, yesterday's London session, yesterday's New York session, today's Asian session, today's London session, and today's New York session. This market is super rangy. There's no directional. There's no direction, right? There's no direction. So, yeah, looking for longs or shorts, it doesn't matter, right? With my entry model, is not going to make money in a vacuum. That particular, setup or thought process, whatever you want to call it, because the probability of success of, for example, this possible long setup that I had, that I was watching. I was never going to take it, right? But I was watching. I mean, I always watch and I always monitor, the possible setups that I'm not going to take because they're not optimal, but I'm always looking at them. And after the, in the afternoon, I go through them to see how they played out, right? And I journal them, even though I don't take them. So I know because of that, I know that the probability of success of this long setup, which is suboptimal, very much suboptimal, is quite low, right? Um, What about GBP CAD? I don't trade the GBP CAD, mate, because I only trade the US dollar and the Japanese yen. So that instrument, right? What would you be trading in it, right? Would your trade be pound driven, or would it be Canadian dollar driven? Right? I don't trade that market. I do not. I only trade the US dollar and the Japanese yen. And when it comes to trading the US dollar, I just look at the at the euro US dollar, the pound US dollar, and the US dollar, Canadian dollar, right? And the Japanese yen. And when I'm going to trade the Japanese yen, I look only at the euro yen and the pound yen, and that's it. And the pound yen, and that's it. So basically, currency wise, I only trade five instruments. So not very much to do here right now. Right. So, like I was telling you, right? Um, there hasn't been a market structure shift in gold, right? There hasn't been a market structure shift in gold. So picking up longs here without a true market structure shift is, well, loses money in a vacuum in the long term. That this particular trade loses money, in in the long term, over and over and over. If you take it over and over and over, this exact trade, it loses money. Um, that's why I always wait for the market structure shift. Um, One, because I trade pullbacks, right? Um, and if I'm trading pullbacks, the immediate structure in this market is bearish, right? No, in this case, I was looking at possible longs in gold, right? On a pullback. So that means that the overall structure in this market is bullish. So I'm trading a bearish pullback, but I'm never going to place. Well, I do, but it also depends, right? What I was going to say is that I never just place blindly a buy limit in this case or a sell limit, right? Um, because the immediate structure in this market is still bearish. And as you can see here, if we go to the 1 minute chart, right, picking up buys here, right, picking up buys, um, whilst price is now printing, equal lows, equal daily lows, right, is just dumb, right? Has a very poor probability of success. More so because what we're seeing right now is weak players in the market jumping in, right? That's what equal lows mean, right? Um, Weak players in the market jumping in at the retest of the previous lows, placing their stop losses here. That is the liquidity that I always talk about. Stop losses of the weak players in the market, all over here. So very, very possibly that those stop losses are going to get taken out, which means that price is going to print a new low, which means that the immediate bearish structure is still very much in play, right? There you go. What did I tell you? What did I fucking tell you, right? Those weak players in the market just got liquidated. Now, I'm still waiting because if this is the last liquidation of the lows, what I need to see is a volatile break of these highs. That would, in fact, mark my market structure shift, and I would look for pullbacks at an imbalance, right? But not before. Not before. So you don't trade ranging markets now. Um, uh, sí, dale, 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 dale. Dale. Yeah, so that's the whole idea behind my, entry model. Now, having said that, yes, right here, on the euro yen, for example, I have placed sell limits without waiting for price to come here and create that market structure shift, right? But because we have liquidity, we have a trap, so this setup is complete, right? Just have a look at this. Now, this is the previous broken lows, right? ¿Ah? No, no la tengo encendida. Oh. So this is the previous broken lows, right? Right here, previous broken lows. I always use the candles bodies, not the wicks. And if you notice here, what happened is that price broke abruptly with those lows, and then you can see highs here, highs here, highs here. You can see a liquidation of these highs tapping that trap and then price moving lower, right? Where are these weak players? I mean, all of these weak players just got liquidated. I'm looking at this. Where are these weak players going to place their stop losses? They're not going to place them above the structure high. That is too wide. Normally, they're going to place them a few pips above their entry. Those are the stop losses that I always wait for price to liquidate to tap into my point of interest for me to get triggered on those sniper entries, right? And that's it. I mean, yeah, I just trade liquidity. I mean, what I do is that I just try to figure out where these weak players in the market are placed, where their stop losses are placed, and I'm just going. I mean, and if I'm looking at shorts, I'm just going to place my entry, my buy limits above their stop loss levels, right? And my and when my setup is optimal, is when I have that liquidity very close to my point of interest, which is the case on the euro yen, right? And it really doesn't matter if price has moved. How much is this? 40 pips or so. We said if price has moved 47 pips um, to the low side, it really doesn't matter, right? As long as this stop losses are alive, my trade idea is still very much valid. But yen is so damn weak. Why do we sell? Hola amigo, ¿cómo estás? Yeah, I mean the Japanese yen is super weak, mate. It's super weak. But remember that you're looking at that market. Te voy a robar un último. Ay, amorcito, por favor. Le voy a decir el último. So, yeah, you're looking at that market in oh, oh yeah, the Japanese yen is super weak. It is super weak, super weak, right? But my focus is on my squares. It's on my squares. These three squares, right? I'm a day trader, right? So you're going to see me, get in buys, right? In long trades on very weak markets. You know, if you look them on the 4 hour or 1 hour chart, right? Yeah, to some traders, it's not going to make sense that I'm looking for to buy the Japanese yen because they trade the higher time frames. But my focus is on today's sessions and today's sessions only, right? And like I told you before, there is no market structure shift on the Japanese yen. So my long idea on the Japanese yen is very aggressive. It is so aggressive that I, in fact, should be risking only 0.25%. But because of the US dollar strength, I am okay with a full risk on that market. But having said that, yes, I mean, in the long term, the Japanese yen is super weak. But I really don't, I mean, I do care about that. Of course I do, right? Uh, but if on such a weak market, right, I see on my squares, right, on my three fucking sessions for the day, a market structure shift, I'm going to play the long side, right? And yes, if we go to the hourly chart, right, I might I might be getting long on this pullback or on this pullback, but it doesn't matter, mate. It doesn't matter because that is what price is telling me to do today, right? Tomorrow, it, tomorrow, it will be very different. It will be the same entry model, but I'm going to trade the downside on the Japanese yen, right? So, I'm a day trader, right? I'm a day trader, so I really don't pay much attention. I don't pay much attention to you know, uh, how strong or weak a market is, or has been. 5 minutes. Sí, ya me voy a. All right, so I'm gonna log out, being live for an hour. Have let's look at the U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar. The USD. I'm not going to delete any order, right? The U.S. dollar. I mean, here's the thing, right? We do have liquidity here, so we could in fact see, a liquidation of those highs before the pullback on the US dollar. In any case, I'm only looking for longs on the US dollar, but I need a pullback. I trade pullbacks. I trade pullbacks. I don't trade breakouts. I don't chase the market. If US dollar buyers are strong enough just to keep on rallying this fucking market, then more power to them. I'm not going to get triggered long on the USD CAD, right? That's fine with me. On the Euro Yen side, same thing. Same thing, not deleting anything. This setup is by far the best setup that I have today. Let's look on the pound yen. Yeah, I mean the euro yen is by far the best setup that I have today. Um, if you notice, price already liquidated the Asian session lows, printing new daily lows. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, right? The only way that I'm going to delete my my sell limits if price just dips. I mean, if the Japanese yen continues to rally, and the euro yen just dips, and hits my TP. That's the only way that I'm going to delete that order. Same thing with the US dollar, Canadian dollar, gold. As I told you, no market structure shift, no fucking trade. But now I'm going to lower my. Hold on. How do you do that? I'm going to lower my alert because of the last liquidation of the lows, my market structure shift level is here. So now I am going to lower my alert here. So and now you're seeing buyers jumping in, right? Now, this doesn't mean that we're going to get a reversal at all, mate. But should price break with these highs, maybe not that hard, break with these highs, then I'm going to get my market structure shift. Will be looking for that imbalance play on a pullback towards, um, yeah, towards 2033. And here on the what is this? The Nasdaq. I'm scrapping this. Not trading U.S. equities today. Just let's see what. And yeah, like I told you, I'm going to have a look at what crude oil did, just to have that out this market. All right. So thank you for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.